Hey friends, happy Tuesday. Scott Barber here, Grace Community Church. I just wanted to take a moment today as we continue to walk through Philippians chapter 1 here, looking at resilient joy in the life of Paul. And we continue to work through this. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a little bit surreal kind of coming back in here. In my life, in my line of work, we ramp up to Easter. It's significant. It's huge, and it's a little bit surreal, kind of stepping back into life here. Life after Easter, and I couldn't help but think about the disciples and what that was like for them. Just kind of wild. Like, is this for real? Jesus is alive, and then he's gone again. He's resurrected. They had so much excitement and joy. A little different on our end here. Just surreal that we're in this coronavirus quarantine here. Life is just so different, and my mind. I don't know about you, but my mind is still trying to make sense of this. Today we're reminded how much we need each other. You see those memes out there about extroverts, right? Who introverts. Make sure you're conscientious of your extrovert friends out there. They might be going crazy, literally. I'm an extrovert, by the way. It's hard. You feel disconnected. But Paul here in Philippians, this time as he writes this letter, he's disconnected from his friends by distance. They had a letter. They didn't have the technology that we had today, and he's writing this letter to the Philippians, and he's saying, we're in verse 19 here, and he says, I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to continue to rejoice. I know that your prayers and the help of the Spirit of Jesus Christ is going to turn out and help me with my own deliverance in this situation. And it's my eager expectation and hope that I'm not going to be ashamed, but that with full courage, now as always, Christ is going to be honored in my body, whether I live or whether I die. To me, to live is Christ, but to die is gain. Isn't that crazy? Paul's attitude in the midst of all this: to live is Christ, to die is gain. And my hope is that we can have the same kind of attitude. We're not faced with the threat of death like Paul is. But he's saying here, how am I going to be resilient in this? How am I going to stay the course? How am I going to continue to honor Christ? No matter what my circumstances, no matter what the outcome is, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get through? Well, we talked about his vision. It wasn't about himself. His vision, his purpose, his passion was Jesus. We're going to lean into more of that. But there's something subtle here. I don't know if you picked it up. In verse 19, he knows that through your prayers and the power of the Spirit, Paul knows he can't do it on his own. There's the phrase that no man or woman is an island, and it's true. Paul wasn't resilient on his own. He needed the prayers of others. We oftentimes think of prayer as, it's just this thing to help us feel better, but that's not true. Prayer changes us, but it changes things. God hears our prayers, and we need them. Our brothers and sisters around us need them. Friends, consider your neighbors. Consider your brothers and sisters in Christ. Consider your co-workers. They need your prayers. They need you. And they're not going to get through this without your support. Your prayers do something. They matter. And for us as well, like Paul demonstrates here, he's dependent on the Spirit. We need the power of the Spirit. We need to cry out to him in prayer, lifting, asking, fill us today. We need to be filled every day, not because the Spirit's insufficient, but because we're like some leaky sieve, some colander, and we lose and leak the Spirit, if you will. Friends, let's step into this season in prayer. Let's be praying for those around us, because your prayer is powerful. And let's be dependent on the Spirit. We can't get through this on our own. It's tougher to experience community now more than ever, but you know what? There's power in that. There's power in us being community for others in prayer and depending upon the power of the Spirit. So let's get at that today. Who's in your prayer circle? Who are you praying for today? Take 5 minutes, lift them up, pray that they might be encouraged and have courage like Paul, that they know they're going to be able to persevere. They're going to be able to honor Christ in life or death, no matter what the circumstances. So, hey to those who are watching out there, great to see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.